It's showtime. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Digital Doodle Stamp Club. Um, this is one of my favorite things to do is share my fun doodles with you that I have been just down drawing, doodling, having so much fun. Y'all gave me so much therapy while I'm designing these. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Good afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I'm glad you found me. I see lots of friends popping on. Um, So today I'm going to share with you your new stamp set. Okay. And your new stamp set I try to create something the month before it happens. So you'll have plenty of time to play with it. So we don't do a lot of St. Patrick's Day stuff, but I did include a few things in here because a lot of people love to make cards and stuff with that. Um, But this is full of bows and frogs, which the frogs are my favorite. And it's called Count Your Blessings. And so blessings is a big theme throughout, obviously simply blessed here. I think I got the most votes for me to teach this today, but that's in addition to me showing you how to do some scripture cards. Um, so let me just show you, I printed out some of the things from the stamps. Before I show you the stamps themselves, I'll go ahead and show you some of the things I printed out. So I'm in love. I'm in love with this guy. God keeps his promises. This is from Genesis 9:12 through 17 when he flooded the earth. And he said he would never do that again. He's going to keep his promise for that. So there's that. Love it, love it, love it. These are what I'm going to teach you how to do. And they're scripture cards. Okay. And so these are 4x4s. And these are the Beatitudes. And so you don't have to hand letter it yourself. You just tap and you got it there ready to roll. And you could make them in any size you wanted. That's what the great thing about the digital stamps is you can just, make them smaller, make them bigger, all the things. But that is, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. It's Matthew 5:3. Matthew 5:4 is, blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Here's Matthew 5:5. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Matthew 5:6. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Matthew 5:7. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. 5:8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. And 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. And 10. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So there's those. Now here are, I said I did a couple of St. Patrick's Day ones. So there's one with little gnomes on it. This is a card that I made. And then I did this one, which says I love making a twist on it to make it faith-based. So we've got the clover, but it says, God says you are, and it has scripture references for each of these things: strong, worthy, enough, and loved. And then I've got some blessed beyond measure. I thought that was fun. I love doing that doodling. That was really fun. Blessed are the highly favored. That one's fun. Fully rely on God. I'm totally into this frog right now. And then not lucky, simply blessed. I printed this one out big. So if you're in my tribe, we're going to do this next month as our artwork, our scripture art. And so it'll be what we put into our calendar. So today I'm not going to do the frog. I'm going to do the bows and the Beatitudes scripture cards. Okay. Does that make sense? Thank you so much. Aw, thank you, Karen. I'm glad. Good morning, everybody. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Now, when you design, let me show you this. This is something I've made, like I'm going to show you today. I'm not going to show you the box, but I'm going to show you the cards. So in here, I've got stacks of scripture cards, okay, that I've made. And these are the 4x4. So that is the idea of like what I want to show you. This is something in my Etsy shop that has the template and stuff with it. But today we're just doing 8 cards. So it's not like you need a big box for 8 cards, right? So in your stamp set, let me go ahead and let me swap through and show you the stamps. Let's just do that. I'm just going to kind of just go through them. A lot of times I'll do the same thing and then like make a border or take the border off so you have options, so different, those say the same thing, but there's different options on how to use them. Blessed and highly favored. I did a plain one and then one where I added some doodles to it. Even though I know you can erase, it's just it gives you more ideas because you might not have thought to do certain things. You saw that God says we are different bows. I love the crosses. Love the crosses. More bows, too blessed to be stressed. Simply blessed with a cross. A bow that has the what are those lucky things on them? I want to say Lucky Charms. Hi, Tilly. Is it Tilly? Well, hello. We're like T Little Designs. Is that it? T Lily. Help, somebody help me. Hi, Leslie's here. Yay. Okay, so here are the Beatitudes. I've got them on here. Now, the Beatitudes are Matthew 5 through 10 or 12, depending on who you are and how you feel about if the last one is a beatitude or not. I went ahead and included it so you could include it or not. A lot of people say there's 8 beatitudes. Some people say there's 9, but some people say the 8th one this goes on into the 9th one. So I just put it on there so you can decide if you want to use it or not. How about that? Hi, Camilla. Welcome. Magically delicious. Okay, so I did some rainbows. I wore my rainbows today in honor of the new stamp set. He keeps his promises. I just want to give you different styles of rainbows because there's different times we use them for different reasons, right? This one says, "Who needs luck? I have Jesus," and it's got a rainbow on it. And then we've got some lily pads up here. More lily pads here that says surrounded by blessings. Frog, not lucky, just blessed. Another frog. I love him. Good morning, Susan. And this guy, I don't know. And when I first drew him, I thought, this is weird. And now I am in love with him. I don't know why. I don't know why. Did y'all get the new update? Because my iPad's acting wacky. I don't even understand how things are working right now. I don't know if you've experienced that. Hoppy go lucky. Why are frogs so happy? They eat whatever that bugs them. That's why. A frog with a bow, a frog with a bow tie, a plain frog. We could add your own things to it. Different style frog, a frog with a crown that says count your blessings. I love that one with the banner. The fully rely on God that I showed you earlier. The God keeps his promises that I showed you earlier up here. And then I made some corners for you because corners are so fun. I didn't realize I put that one upside down. I mean, it's not upside down. It just looks that way on there. Okay, another one. Here's the bow with with God. All things are possible. We've got blessed vibes. We've got just plain bows. You can use it for anything, but then we've got the not lucky, simply blessed that I just showed you. Another not lucky, just blessed with a cross and the clovers. Not lucky, just blessed. And then just these are different clovers. They're all separate stamps. There's in case somebody needs a beer stein mug or whatever. There's that. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I did 3 of those. I did a Lucky Charms, a few stars, a gold coin, horseshoe, mustache, and a little top hat. So those are the ones I did for. Oh, there's a couple more St. Patrick's Day. I forgot right here. So we've got the gnomes separately. And then we've got some flowers that you could use for anything, right? Here's a pot of gold. We've got this little puppy dog, positively positively blessed, perfectly blessed. This little kitty cat over here. And that's what's a leprechaun? That's a leprechaun there. The cool thing about these, y'all, is like this puppy dog right here. If you like this puppy dog, you could erase that little clover and it would be plain, and you could change it out with something like a heart or something for Christmas, or just make it plain, so you can do so many things. You can adjust these however you want. Then I wanted to give you these vines here so you could write something inside of it if you wanted to, and that goes with the lily pads. Is that everything? And then here's one more. This is what I'm about to show you. This is a template, and I need to show you how to use it because there's a little trick to it. So no shamrock flowers in a pot vase, but I can learn to do that. Oh, let's see. Yeah, there's some flowers in that pot, and you could change the looks of that pot if you didn't want it to look like a pot of gold. You could just erase the sides and that bottom, and it would look like just a little pot. So, all right, is that everything? I think so. So, what I want to show you is how you are going to make your scripture cards. This is what we're going for. This right here. All right, but we're going to start with an 8.5 by 11 canvas. And as I open that canvas up, it is going to go this way. And I want to make my template, right? Instead of you having to draw out all your squares yourself, I went ahead and made a stamp for you. So we're going to go to your new stamp set, and you'll get this right after class. I will turn on I'll launch it so it's available after class. Okay. Count your blessings. I'm going to tap, and here's all the stamps that you get. And we're going to go at the very, very bottom, and it says 4x4 inch card template. Now it says 4x4 because I'm going to show you how to make it 4x4. What happens is if I tap it right here, I'll show you right here, this little line, it says stretch to corner of an 8.5 by 11 canvas. So right now, these are not 4x4 squares because we haven't stretched it to where it needs to go. So what I do is I will go up to the corner first, and then I'll pull down to the bottom corner. And that should give you the 4x4 squares. They may not be perfect, but they're, close. Now, if you don't want them 4x4, you can make them any size you want by just, pulling down and trying to figure out like how many inches they are. That's totally up to you. But I designed these to be 4x4. So again, there's a little dot up here in the corner, and you have to put that dot on each end. Okay. Gotta have the dot up there in the corner. Make sure you get it all the way in the corner, and then pull down here. I don't know if I did that right. Did I do that right? Did I do that right? Let me do it again. I'm just going to delete that. And then I'm going to do it again. So I don't have that brush. Let me go back and get the brush. Count your blessings. I've got the card template. I'm going to hover over it to see where it goes. I'm going to tap it down, and then I'm going to put this up in the very corner, and then go down here in this corner. It should snap in there just perfectly. If you don't have snapping turned on, when you tap on this arrow, there's snapping right here. Tap on that and make sure snapping's on, and that'll help you like get it where you need it to be. So, all right. Now, the next thing I do is I do not want to, I don't want to draw on this template. So I'm make a new layer. That's very, very important. Make a new layer. And then I'm going to go to my Beatitudes, and I'm going to start with the third one because that's the first one. And then I'm just going to hover and see how big do I want it? How big? I like it right there. I'm going to tap this, but remember it's on its own layer. It's a little off center because of the way I stamped it. So I can just slide it over. If I didn't have it on its own layer, I couldn't have done that. Okay. Now, let me see if I didn't try this. Let me just real quick see something. Okay. I'm going to tap this. It says 36%. I'm going to see if the size that says 36%, I'm going to see if that works for all of them. So I'm going to go to Beatitudes 5-4, and then I'm just going to scroll until it says 36. There's a little size there, and that looks pretty good. Yeah, they look pretty good. So that can kind of help you get started. Now, I actually like to do all of them on their own layer in case I need to move it again. So I would make a new layer, and then I would just drop it in so you could move it around if you want. I accidentally double tap that. Can you see that? So back up. I just want one. And then again, I'm going to make another layer. And this time we're going to do Beatitudes 5-5. And I want it at 36%. So I'm going to go right there. and tap. And then I'm going to add a new layer. Go to 30. See how the numbers, I don't know if you can see it, but right here it says the size. And you just scroll up. There's 36%. You can eyeball it too. So is there a snap to center or center? Is there a snap to center or center? Oh, I don't understand. Can you ask me in a different way? You know how hard it is to interpret sometimes on reading text. Hi, Tracy. Welcome. Okay, so that's page 1. Now, what I usually do is I go ahead and pick my color palette, and then I'll go ahead and color in the squares in the background. Okay. So I'm just going to go down to my template. I'm going to duplicate it in case something happens and I just need a backup. I already have my color palette. This is what I'm using for March this year. These colors here. And so I'm just going to pick whatever color I want for the background. I'm going to drag and drop. Notice that it completely, it doesn't, sometimes the color doesn't go in like where the enclosed parts are, but notice that there's not a problem with that now because we're doing it on the layer with just the blocks and not the lettering, if that makes sense. Hi, Jackie. Okay, next, let's see. I'm kind of doing softer colors right now. You don't have to, but I'm just picking softer colors. Okay, so there, I did that. And now you can print them out just like this, but I usually like to, make it them a little bit more decorative. So I usually put like highlights behind it and everything, but you can see these are white. This is white lettering. Okay. And I colored in the leaves yellow. Now I bet when you saw me show these, you thought they were cohesive and they all looked like they went together. Why is that? Because I use the same color family for the whole thing, but they're not all just alike. Because see here, this has a white vine outline and this has a blue outline. This is white lettering. This has white and black lettering, but it all works together because I use the same colors. Let's see what else I did different. That has white leaves. This one has yellow leaves. That one I didn't color in at all, but it looks good just as an outline. So there's lots of opportunities. Hi, Joanne. Welcome. Lots of different ways we can do this, but instead of me showing you how to do every one, I'm going to show you one example because you can figure out the rest, right? But also I want to teach you the bow card too. So, okay, so let's just start with this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure, and now that I'm at this point, I probably could go ahead and squeeze together my lettering and keep them on one layer. I just want to keep them on their own layer though. I don't want to put anything else with it. And then underneath that, I've got the color blocks. But I want to write, imagine, I've got the color blocks, then I want to write on top of the color blocks, and then I want my lettering on top of that. I don't want to do the color blocks on top of my lettering or you couldn't see my lettering, right? So I'm making a blank space in between the two. And I'm just going to start with this yellow. And if I don't put my glove on, I'm going to have a hot mess. Y'all, look at my ring my mom bought me yesterday. Isn't that cute? It's so cute. I've never had this brand before. Anybody know what it is? I can't think of the name of it. It starts with I think a K. Anyway, I've never had anything from there, so that's pretty sweet that my mama bought me that. Okay, I'm going to get my dry ink brush is what I normally use for everything. And I'm going to do that. And I'm just kind of making a bubble around this word. Like that. Thank you, Becky. And good morning. Okay, and then now I'm going to go pick a different color to go behind there. And I'm just going to keep using my color palette and decide what words I want to. That's too close to that color to be right beside it. And then how about the darker green? And hi, Sue. Sure can. I sure can. Yeah, I'll put it after class today when I go and launch the new set for y'all to get. I'll work on adding it in there, so that's where you can find it. Okay, that's where you can find it. Okay, and then white. I kind of like adding white. I think a touch of white does a lot. I think I'll do they will together. And then I want to go ahead and continue with some white. And I can either color right here, just color like this behind all of these. Or if I want to drop color inside of them, I need to go to the layer with the lettering. Okay, I'm going to duplicate that in case I don't like it. But I'm just going to tap and drop in the color. It's faster to do it this way. Just keep in mind whenever you are working with lighter and darker colors, if you put a dark, sometimes like the morn might show up better as white. So let's look and see which we like better. So we've got morn. Let me go to that layer, and then I'm just going to drop white on top of that, and you can decide, do you like the white or do you like it black better? Totally up to you, right? But that's just an option to switch them around depending on if you use darks, lights on darks, and all that stuff. Okay. So does that make sense? I think you can do this. Now, what I normally do is I get this the way I want it, and then I go to my gallery. No, well, anyway, I close that out, and then I duplicate it. I swipe it and duplicate it. I want to keep them separate. So now I know I still have my template. I've already got my color palette if I want to use that same background, but I have all those same layers. I don't need the lettering because I've already used that lettering. So I can actually delete that because I already have that saved. And then this layer that has the I don't need that either. The color blocking. This layer, I can keep it like it is, or maybe I want to change the colors of the backdrop. Maybe we want to do some darker colors. So I'm going to make this one darker. And then I can do mustard here. And then maybe I'll do this kind of darker color. And I don't remember if I did this one. I don't think I've done that one either. So this is a different color palette. But it was nice to have that other one when I was starting it. So I remembered what I had already done. But now these are dark, so I might want to stamp using white. Let's try that. So let's pick up where we left off. We're going to do Beatitudes, Matthew 5:7, and then I can check and make sure my size is right. I'm going to do 36. Tap, and then that looks great. It really looks great just like that. You don't need to do anything to these. I think they look, and it didn't do it on its own layer. That's very important. Do it on its own layer. If you don't, you won't be able to do the color blocking behind it. Okay. Oop, that one's huge, so that's going to help me know what size I want it to be. And see how it's scooted over to the side. That's why I like the new layer every time. Okay. And then you'll go in between. I'm going to pinch these together. And then you have two layers now. So you have the color blocking, the color squares, and you have the lettering above it. And you'll make a blank layer in between, and that's where you'll do your color blocking. Like so. Okay. And that's it. We did it. Easy, right? Okay, let's do the bow one now. So the bow one, I also made a canvas 8.5 by 11, but I turned it this way. So it's really, I guess, 11 by 8.5 or whatever. Now I'm going to go back to black. I'm going to go look for that stamp. Count your blessings. And we are looking for the 3 bows. Here we go. 3 bows. Simply blessed. And I already have it about the size that I want. If you want to know what size that is, it's 71% is what I have. You don't want it too big, but you want to fill up the space pretty good too. So I'm going to tap it and then I'm going to make sure it's centered. I'm just going to, there we go. You'll see the 2 yellow lines. We're going vertical and horizontal. Isn't there some way to lock in the size when doing the same thing multiple times? Yes, Lori. So we wanted all of that at 36%. So let's see. I'm going to hold it down. Oh, there's a plus sign. Yeah, that was it. Plus sign. I know it's hard to see because that stamp was big. Let me see if I can find a different stamp. Okay, let's pretend like I want this at, do you see the sizes there? Let's say I want this at 20%. And I would just use this little plus sign right there. And then it would keep it there for you. Okay, and then if you don't want any more, you just undo it. So I need to pull up so I can remember what I did. And go to my, I want to get my reference photo. Here it is. Let's do that up in the corner. Now, I also did some corners with this, which you're going to love playing with the corners, I think. So we're going to look. Remember how you can find things without having to scroll all the way through? I mean, it's not hard because there's 85 stamps. You can go through here, fairly quickly and find the corners. But let's say you don't even remember what stamp set the corners were in. Go all the way to the top, pull it all the way. Just do like swipe down until you see a box that says search, and then you can put in corners. Why didn't that come up? Oh, corner. Okay, it's under corner. I wish, I wonder why. Anyway, so here's the different corners. And I'm going to pick the corner miter. And then it pulled it back up into the Count Your Blessings stamp set. And mine says 2 because I accidentally downloaded it twice. So yours should not say 2. And if it does, that means you have it in there twice. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to determine how big we want this. How big do we want these corners? I like that about like that. And that is 22%. So let's plus it. Okay. And so it's the same one. So I don't really have to plus it because I'm just going to duplicate. So I'm going to duplicate. And then I'm going to flip it down here and go across. And I want it to line up. Make sure it's all lined up with that one before I do anything. Actually, stop. Let me go back. Reset. Okay. I only want to do one. And that's because I want to color it first and then duplicate it. All right. So I use the color palette that I already showed y'all that I'll be using for March. And the way I determined what I was going to color where is I did the opposite. So I did this dark green here, and then I decided to do the dark green on the opposite side. Okay, so it's up and then over. It'll make sense as I go, right? Okay, so then I'm going to put this one here, and then I'm going to start off from this side. I'm going to start from that side on there, and I'm this side from here. And the next one, oh, I did that wrong. Stop. Don't even listen to me. I was looking at these. Don't look at those. I need to look at this. Okay, start over. Mustard. Mustard here and mustard here. Next, I did dark green here and here. Next, I did this really pretty teal color. I don't even know what it is. There and there. Okay, then I did like a medium green there and there. And then the last one, I did this light pretty green color. There. Now we can take it and duplicate it, okay? So I'm just going to duplicate it, flip it, line it up. Make sure you'll see 3 lines if it's lined up just right. Okay. Now I'm going to pinch these together right here, and I'm going to duplicate those. And now I'm going to use my flip again, but I'm going to flip vertical, and then I'm going to slide it down here. Make sure it's all lined up with the other ones. And that's it for the border. Isn't that easy and fun? I love the look of that. Okay, and let's go ahead and do our background color. I just chose this light yellow. And now we can decide what we're going to do next. Okay, my lettering, I decided to make it white to make it stand out. But I didn't, the bows are still outlined in black. Okay, so how do we do that? There's a lot of different ways, but I'm going to pinch my borders together, by the way. Just keep that on one layer. And if you need to keep up, if you have a bunch of layers and you don't know what's what and you've never labeled yours, you just tap and then rename it. And then you can add corners. Thank you, Lori. To that. And then you've got it. And then this would be my template, or I don't know about template. I'm going to duplicate this, okay? And I'm going to, there's a lot of different ways I could do this. You'll probably say, why did she do it that way? Because you might have thought of it a different way. But I'm going to slide this over and just drop color here. Whoopsie. Don't touch the wrong thing. Okay, so there we have it. There we have it. There we go. Here's another way I could have done it. Is tap on that layer and select, and it would make everything white. And I like to do that a couple times to make it really sharp white. Otherwise, sometimes it has a black undertone. But, and then I could get rid of the white here because I want those to be outlined in black. There's a couple ways to do that too. One, I could just go around it because remember I have 2 layers. The one underneath it is black. So I could just go around this and erase this part right here. If you have yours set up like I do, you've touched the lasso, and then down here you have freehand and color fill. Now I have a dancing line around my box of bows, and now I can take a 3-finger swipe, and sometimes it takes a few times to get it, so it's not just you. And I'm going to cut and paste it, or I could just cut it. I don't really need it, but if you're not sure, you could cut and paste. And look at what you have now is you have your bows are separated. So the bows are on their own layer, the white ones. So I just uncheck them and then they're there. Hello, Sharita. Oh, good. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. Okay, so now that we've got what we're looking for, let's go ahead and make some. We're going to go all the way to the bottom. All the way to the bottom. And then we're going to make some bubbles around our letters to make them stand out. So I'm going to grab this mustard color and just start going up. Am I on my, oh yeah, I am on a separate layer. That's really important. Super important. Okay. Lucky. I just love this color. Whoops. There we go. What did I do down here? A lighter version of that color is over here. And now, I guess, okay, so I'm doing the medium mustard color. So it's a little different than that one. Okay, Now, what do we do next? Now we can, while we're here, let's talk about shadows, okay? So above that layer is my original black stamped piece, okay? I'm going to duplicate that. And then I want to show you like what it looks like to have a shadow behind here. So I'm just going to tap and move it over to show you. See how nice that is? But remember these bows, it also made a shadow with those, and we don't necessarily want that, or at least right now. So I'm just going to reset that. We'll think about that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and color our bows and then we'll decide. Okay, for the bows. I did the inside of the bows probably first. I went ahead and just kind of colored this in first. Different colors. All right, and then I started coloring here, and I did this light. And then this medium. See how easy it is to color in once you have picked this color drop up here? Very quick. But you might enjoy just the process of actually coloring that and, do what feels good to you. Okay, got that one done. This one, now let's pick what colors we want to do here. I'm going to do this kind of dark green first. See how I did that? Top, top, left, left, left. Then the next color I pick, I'm going to do top, top, left, left, left. Let's get this light green color. It's pretty. Top, top, left, left, left. And then the last one, do the medium golden color like that. Oops, touched the wrong thing. Got it. There we go. Hi, Brenda. Oh, you don't have them yet, Brenda. The link to the stamps will come out right after class. So yes, this is the release, and I'm going to show you what you're getting. And then after, I'm going to put the link to this class will be there too if you want to watch the replay. So that's kind of handy. By the way, if you're watching and you are a Digital Stamp Club member, which most of you are, make sure to download your stamps. You have 1 month to download them, and then we take it down because when new people join the membership, that wouldn't be fair if they got all the old stamps that, when you in the what do you call it? In the vault. You know what I mean? Like, so whenever someone joins, they get that set, and then from there on, they get the next sets. So whenever you join, you want to make sure you download your stamps for that month because we'll take it down after that. That makes sense. Okay, now, ooh, I like this dark green and blue together. Ooh, so pretty, so pretty. This is a little bit lighter. Forgot to do the background of the middle part. And I see a part I missed over here too. Did anybody work out this morning? I went to my water aerobics class. I made myself go. Jenny picked me up. If y'all don't know Jenny, she's my assistant. So that was really fun that she picked me up. Okay. It's looking good. It's looking good. I think shadows are wonderful. And I also think making some layers around the outside of it too. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Let me get rid of this. Okay. Okay, but it looks good just like this. You could be done, right? Hello, is that Eileen? I'm glad you're here. All right. Now, Another thing I did, no, I didn't do that here. So see how I've got these extra layers right here? Yes, I thought that was you. And then I've got a shadow here that I'm going to show you now how to do. So from the very beginning, we've had this black layer at the bottom underneath everything. And now I'm just going to tap my screen. And then I just like to tap over a few times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about 10 times. Or you can just move it like this. It's just easier for me to just tap it a few times so I don't do it too many. Okay. Now, how we have to see, do we like the way it looks with the bows like that? We can always erase that, but it might be fine. Okay, so now let's go to the wrench and no, the magic wand right here. Then we're gonna go to Gaussian blur, and then we're just gonna slide across and watch how it changes. I'm gonna slide across. I'm gonna touch my pencil to the screen and I'm gonna slide across. See how it's like softening it? Let me make it bigger. It's softening it. That's what we want. We want to soften it. And then sometimes it's just too intense. So then we want to turn down the opacity a little bit. And you just hit the letter N on the layer you're on. You just turn down the opacity. So it's just softer, more natural looking. And then that looks so much better with the bow. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. I like it. Okay. One thing we haven't done that I really like on here is adding the white highlights right there. Okay, so let's do that. So I want to go at the very, very top of all the layers. And I'm just going to make some marks. Like so. And one of my favorite stamps is, and it's not in this stamp set, but I use it all the time. So it is one that you might be interested in, and you can get it in my Amazon shop. I mean, not Amazon, my Etsy shop. I'm gonna scroll down. It's called Stitching, and I just think it adds so much, these stitches, to the border. And so I'm choosing running stitch. And then I'm just going to see, how big is that? I'm just going to hold it, my pen down, and I'm not going to lift it up yet. And then got it right there. I'll do that again. Wait, make sure it's on its own layer and it's not messed up. Okay. Hold it in place. Okay. Do we like that? I love that. All right. And I also, let's see. So now I could just take that and duplicate it and put it over here. And then I can make a new layer and do this side. Hold it. Duplicate it. I didn't do this on the original, but I was looking at it going, I think it needs it. Okay, so they're all there, the stitching around it. Now I'm going to pinch them together, and I want to make those three-dimensional too. Thank you. I like it too, Jackie. Duplicate the one underneath that. Let's make it black. And so we're going to, this is going to be a shadow underneath here. And it's going to make our stitches look more three-dimensional. So watch the stitches and see how we've got that shadow there. And again, if you want it to be more, hold on, let me go back. Okay, so now I've got the black underneath it. If you just want to be subtle about it, you can just tap, tap, tap. And kind of, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know what I'm saying in my head. Okay. Magic wand, Gaussian blur. We're going to blur it. This is 3%. It's only 3%. And then I'm going to go down and turn down the opacity a little bit so it's just not so. And we could do that on these too. You want to do these? It never hurts to add a shadow. Same thing, Gaussian blur. See how it just softened that up? Then we're going to turn down the opacity. Oh, good, Tracy. I'm glad you like that. Yeah, they're definitely worth having. I love the stitches. I use them a lot. Okay, now it makes me want to highlight. Add a shadow to everything. Sorry, y'all, my nose. I don't know why it starts getting stopped up when I get on here. I'm gonna hold on for 1 second. It's no fun to have the sniffles, and people have to listen to you to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some dimension to. We did to the letters, but I think the bubbles too. So let me just go to the bubbles, duplicate the bubbles, change it to black. It's black. Now I'm going to move it over a little bit. See that? And now Gaussian blur, slide it over. That's 3%. Turn to the opacity so it's softer, more natural. That's like 50%. And it looks good. It looks good. Now, I love it like this, but I will tell you a couple of steps further. There's always like something you can do to make it, I don't know, more exciting. And what I did here is add the layers around the edges. So it's like a real card. If you're making a real card and you had a bunch of layers. So to do that, you take your whole piece and let's do this. We're going to go over to add and go down to copy canvas. And when you hit copy canvas, it copies everything that you see right here. It doesn't matter about the layers. Forget about the layers. It's copying everything you see. So I love that. So now I can paste. You can go right here and paste. And now you have one layer that wait a minute. Why didn't that work? Hold on. Let me do it again. Copy canvas, paste. Okay. Now, here it is, all on one layer. Okay. Now, when I take that off, you can't tell that it's there because I've got all these other layers. Let me take off all the layers and show you. See, I'm taking everything away. Okay. And all I have is the background now. Well, if I click on this layer, it's got the whole piece. And it's easier to do the layers this way. So what I'm going to do is first of all, I'm going to change the background to white. Okay. And now I'm just going to make this smaller. I want to make sure it's even all the way around. And then I'll make it a little bit smaller. Okay. That's cute. Just like that with having the white there, I think. But let's say we want to add colors. So underneath, it needs to be underneath. You can, in one of the blocks, you can just drop color, whatever you want the layer to be. So I'm just going to make this, I'm going to drop color on that layer. Okay. But since it's a box and it's not the background, you can slide it over like this and make a layer. Do you see what I'm saying? Tell me if this makes sense. And I really do like a good shadow on everything. So I'll be adding shadows to that too. And then we could leave the white around the edge, which is cute. Or if we wanted to, thank you, Jackie. We could do like a different color as the background. Totally whatever you want to do. But these are really flat. And to make them look three-dimensional, we're going to duplicate the green one and make it black. Make it have a shadow. Again, I'm just going to tap, tap, tap. And you can see that black line there, but I'm going to soften it out. Gaussian blur. See that? Soften it out. And then turn the opacity down to 50% or something like that. It's still there. And then look, we need to do our card too, the card front, the whole card front. So let's go to that yellow one, duplicate it, select. Go to 3% Gaussian blur. See here, now you can see the difference between the one that's been softened out and the harsh one. It's subtle, but there is a big difference. So let's turn it down to 50%. I think I'm happy with it. Don't y'all think it's finished? I don't think it needs anything else. If you wanted to just say you really like the stitching and you want to mimic the stitching, you could do stitching around this. I would just use a regular brush though. I wouldn't try to use that brush for this, but you could just do some little stitching lines around here. The white really adds a lot to it though. But it may be too busy, you know, it's got a lot going on here. So that's just a suggestion on something you could try. What do y'all think? I hope you're inspired today. I hope you have ideas. I hope you love the stamps. I would love your feedback once you get to play with them. When you post your work in the Digital Doodle Stamp Club Facebook group, I love it and everybody else loves it. It gives us all ideas of what to do with it. So yes, the dimension is everything. I mean, all of these layers look so good. And if we start taking them off, you'll remember how flat everything is. I'm going to start taking them off and showing you. Oops, not that one. Sorry. That one is flat now. That one. I can't do all these layers because they're all condensed now into that one layer, but you need to practice. Well, good, good. You'll have fun. Okay, so right after this, when I finish, I'm going to launch the stamp. So you'll be able to get the link. If you don't know how to get it, you go to craftwithchristy.com and log in. You made a login when you signed up. If you don't remember it, just say forgot my login and make a new one. If you have any troubles with that, make sure to email us. We are so happy to help you in any way we can. Here's the email address, support@craftwithchristy.com. Take a screenshot if you need to. And then if you don't know how to download the stamps, I have a video inside there, on the website that shows you. Now, all of the past classes we've done are in there. Anybody can get to the classes if you're a member. Any member, new members, old members. But the old stamps are not available because new people come in, right? You need to get those stamps now so you have them. You're so excited to play with these. Yay! But if you're pulling to the left, what about the right? Right, left. Thank you, Fran. Okay, so the left-hand side, you can see up here a little bit at the top, but you have to pick a side to have a shadow. And so I always have my sun coming up here, and it goes this way, so the shadow is going to cast to the right. That's just my preference, but you could always do it the opposite way too. But if you want, okay, so let's just say you want the whole thing. That's a good question. Let me show you. Let me take these off. Okay, let's say you want the shadow to be equally around the whole thing instead of to the right like I did it. So what I would do is, let me delete these, is I would duplicate, make it black. Okay, so now we've got the yellow layer and then underneath it is black. So we can't see it, it's under there. But once we start to use the Gaussian blur, you'll start to see it. So I'm just going to start going across 4, 5. There's 5%, and you can see it right here, and you can see it over here. I didn't move it at all. So that's how you can make it do the whole thing. That's a great question. Or you can make it bigger too. Yeah. You could always make it come out more like that. Lots of ways to achieve a similar look. I love that, but I still think I prefer it a little softer. There. Like that. I hope that helped. Does that help? But anyway, if you don't know how to upload the stamps, let me see real quick if I can get in there and show you. So the Kajabi app is something that you can use. Anybody can use it. Kajabi app is has it on there too. So you can either go to the website craftwithchristy.com or you can go to the Kajabi app. You have to log in there too. But here's the digital doodles. I'm going to click on it if you're using the app. Okay. And then I'm going to go to monthly stamp releases and tap on that. And then I'm going to click on frames and hearts because that's what we have available right now. Right. And it's going to tell you download the stamps. But to get the stamp set right now, you just click on get it here. And then there it says frames and hearts, and it pulled it up and it looks like this. And it looks like to me there's an error and you're not doing something right, but that's not true. They just can't be previewed where they are right now. They have to go into the Procreate to be able to use them. And my recommendation is to go to the three dots and save to your device, not to Procreate, save to your device. Because if you lose them, they'll still be on your device. If you lose Procreate, something happens and you lose all your stamps, that would stink. But if you still have them on your iPad, you can upload them again. So we're going to save them to our device first. Okay. Don't save to Procreate, save to files. If that's where you want to save them. That's where I save mine. And see how it says frames and hearts here. I'm going to save it. You're just going to say count your blessings. Okay, so I saved it. Where did I save it? We have to remember, where do we save it? Files. We're going to go to files and then see what happens when we, that should be this here. Why does that say digital doodle sheet? I thought it would be the last thing that, no, that says yesterday. I'm going to type in heart. It may be because I already have it. Anyway, hearts and frames. That's the set. When I tap on it, it's just going to automatically go in. It's importing right now. I didn't tell it to. It's just importing because I clicked on it and opened it. And now it's already imported. And when I look into my, what is happening? Anyway, when I look into my stamp set, I'm going to look at the top and there it is. Now this says 2027 because I already have one in there. So I have multiples. I don't want multiples. I'm going to delete that. Delete it. Delete it. I'm going to delete this count your blessings because I have it in there twice too. Okay. Why is this up here? Have y'all had problems with this new update? Ugh, it's terrible. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful. We are just an email away or a message away. Get into the Digital Doodle Stamp Club group and ask questions and post your work and play with the stamps. We want to see what you come up with. Any questions before I go? I'm here for you. And some of you, want to do the frog. If you're my membership, we're doing the frog next. We're doing the frog in March for our calendar page. And if you're in the tribe too, I'll show you what we're going to do. Since you're here, if you're here, or want to know more about it, this is what we're going to do next week. Christy's Lettering Tribe. We're going to do confetti, heart confetti. And that will be our project. And that'll be for our calendar that we're designing this year. So that's kind of fun. And we'll do this on paper too with paint or with like gouache or watercolor, either way. So we'll do it both ways. But thank you. Thank you. I'm excited. So now you know what's coming up next week and next month. All right, y'all. I love you to pieces. Have a blessed weekend. Come to Devos and Doodles on Monday at noon if you can. We love seeing you there. And it's just a sweet little time to get a little devotional and do a little lettering. And it helps you kind of get focused in for the week and everything. You're welcome, Vicki. My pleasure. Bye, y'all. Have a wonderful weekend. See you later.